we thank all of our viewers who have joined in, who have connected with us for such a long time. For you guys, we have a good surprise. We have a great guest coming in, and it's none other than the one in the Indian football who has won it all, starting from second division I League to I League. The one who has revolutionized grassroots football, who has revolutionized Indian football with the plethora of players he has produced. Let's welcome Mr. Ranjit Bajaj.
Hi,
Sir, are you there, sir?
hi guys, how are you?
We are doing fine, sir. How are you doing, sir?
Perfectly fine, perfectly fine. I can see a lot of people I recognize, including Yan and Prashant, and now you guys.
Great, sir. Great, sir. We had to, remove a lot of people from the Zoom because of a unfortunate incident. But still, I can vouch. A lot of people have logged into YouTube, seeing you, and a lot of people have come on to Facebook as well, requesting us. So, sir, welcome and thanks for taking out your time for us. So, first thing I would like to ask you is about your academy, obviously, because this is a grassroots football webinar where we are primarily focusing on grassroots. And as we obviously know, that you have the next plan based on grassroots football. So, sir, if you can put some light on your next project that you're going to approach, all over to you, sir.
First of all, hi guys, hi to everyone, and first of all my prayers and thoughts to our brothers and sisters in Bengal and Calcutta and Odisha, especially because I've seen the kind of pictures which have come out of there is devastating, and we need to show our full support there and help out as much as we can, because it's one disaster after the other. Uh, Coming back to the topic, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure always being here with you guys, especially Neeraj. Thank you so much. See, my latest plan about getting into grassroots football was because of what we see here on a daily basis. That means on a daily basis, we see that the only part where clubs or even the federation sadly is focusing on is seniors. And in fact, the only great football academy we had, which we've all grown up with, including even Yan, was there, Tata Football Academy. And in Tata Football Academy, we Gormangi Singh, Subrata Paul, and starting with being the TD being Chuni Goswami sir, Chunida, that laid the foundation for a lot of our Indian national team. And anybody of name you would say that he's from Tata Football Academy. Now, instead of that becoming, going to greater heights, we've seen that in fact all the focus has been taken away and its focus has gone to Jamshedpur FC. So I saw that, we can keep on blaming the federation, then we can keep on blaming clubs, we can keep on blaming states, associations, or you can do something about it yourself. You can always say, okay, what can one person do? But trust me, one person can do a lot if he keeps at it, works hard, gives the passion. And if that one person has hundreds of people like him who have the same dream and who are willing to work as hard as him, we can achieve any goal. We can achieve anything which people think is impossible. There's nothing impossible. So the dream starts from qualifying for the World Cup, and not qualifying because somehow we get to host the World Cup. Okay, that's not the way we want to qualify. Because looking at things, we even now in the under 17 World Cup, the boys and the girls, we got in because of the hosts. And now the women's Asian Cup is happening in 2023. Unfortunately, even there we've not qualified. We are just going to play there because we are the hosts. So that's not the way you want to qualify. You want to qualify by being the best. Now, how do you do that? So everybody keeps on looking at these things as a next year plan or a 4-year plan, because that's what AIFF has, 4-year plan. Because see, if you talk about the under 13s, that's still under 18s. It's a matter of 4 years. You can't look at football in 4 years. You have to look at it over a period of minimum 15 years. That means starting from the age of 6, and that's the minimum. I'm just the countries in Europe start at the age of 4 also, man. So even if we start at 5, 6, and we keep those boys in a place which is like a sports academy, that from the very beginning they have the best of the best. So the advantage which will be with the Minerva boys here will be because all my knowledge which is I have gained for the last 5 years, from the senior, for playing in the Asian Champions League, Asian football, the AFC Cup, playing, being the champions of the senior and the juniors. This will all come and help them, because we now know what nutrition is. Now I can say, yes, I know what nutrition is. Now I know after 5 years that what it takes in injury, not rehab. Okay, rehab is too late. Injury prevention, we don't even talk about that. And injury prevention starts not only from making sure your muscles are straight. Injury prevention means making sure you find out from the very beginning which are your weak muscles, and then you work on those muscles. Then looking at your gait, that means there's something known as how you walk. So your lasers come to know your gait. And suppose, what happens is, suppose I have a core, and my core of the right side is 90% strength than the left side. To adjust, my body will always be like this. And because of that, I'll get injuries after 4 years in my back, or in my lower back, or in my neck, because I've kept my body like this. For example, you all know, you keep on looking at a phone the whole day, and you've been too much of TikTok or WhatsApp. रात को यहाँ पे दर्द होती है, पता लग जाता है यार दर्द हो रही है, क्यों यार आज बहुत टाइम फोन पे लगा लिया, स्क्रीन पे लगा लिया. And imagine you do that on a single daily basis while playing physical activity for 5 years, you'll definitely get an injury. Now you prevent all that. Then make them, if you tell a Punjabi boy at the age of 19, 20, okay, you eat pasta for carb loading, you don't know how difficult it is. In fact, Jan is laughing now. I've got examples where it's actually counterproductive. See, yes, it's carbs, but if your body has never had that kind of carbs in its life, and you do that one day before a match because you think it's a professional team, अगले दिन उसको पोटियां लग जाती हैं यार. That's the kind of things which are there. Whereas if you give him 4 paranthas with a lot of ghyo, he'll go and score 2 goals. Not because the paranthas are great, but that's what his body's digestion system is used to. So you can't blame them for not eating the right food, because they've never got into the habit of eating the right food. And it's so important. It's fuel. You think, yeah, the choti cheeze nahi hai yaar. I mean, you try putting in your scooter or in your bike, you try putting water and try running it. It will not run. Same way in your car, if you put kerosene instead of petrol, it will not run. The same way, if you put paranthas and try to run fast, yes, you will be able to run fast, but the energy levels, because the carbs are low and the fats are more, the energy levels will that much be lower. And it's not their fault of the players, because they've never been used to eating that food. So these kind of things have to start at the age of 5, 6, 7, 8, the habits. And imagine so, we keep on talking about, wow, Chetri. Chetri is who he is because of his habits. The kind of discipline that guy has, oh my God. I wish if all Indian players had even 50% of that, we would go really far. But he does it because he understands, and he's been doing that, and he can see the changes happening. Okay, you see Virat Kohli, okay, and all cricketers are not like him, but you see Virat will have a long career. Now I'll tell you why. Because he's thin, he's slim. There is no pressure on his joints. The heavier you are, the bigger you are, the fatter you are. That means more fat percentage than muscle. Your muscles are working that hard to catch up. So this whole thing starts from there. And now my plan is that if we do this for 15 years straight, the kind of boys we'll produce will be world-class, world beaters. Why? Because every single year, along with all this, we'll be taking them out to tours. Hopefully when tours open up and, when this thing gets over, we'll be playing them against the best of every other country. So we'll be gauging their performance not by winning I-Leagues, because every year anyone can win I-League. We'll be gauging their performance by making them play against Manchester United or making them play against Barcelona's same youth teams. And then you can judge where you are on a world standard. So in India, what happens again? World Cup under 17 is happening. Okay, so Indian government announces, okay, 20 crores assistance. So 20 crore खर्च करने हैं, तो 4 महीने में 20 crore खर्च करने हैं. So 100 क्या करना है, अपने 20 countries का tour लगा दो 4 महीने के अंदर. That's not going to give you anything. You need to have a tour every year for 10 years, not 20 tours in 4 months.
Correct, sir. So, sir, if you can also let us know about what are your plans of this current, the current grassroots project which you are going to do. Like you mentioned about the best of the best.
So we are going. We were already doing it. We were doing trials all over India, and we had covered most of the Northeast, except we were in Assam when this pandemic hit us, and we had to cancel the Assam trials. We had done the entire Manipur state, and we had done Mizoram, and we had done parts of Bengal as well. So we are going to be completing those trials. In fact, because it's going to be the World Cup Indian team, I cannot just say, okay, I am just going to go to the Northeast and select, because it's going to be an Indian team. I will, if I have to make it a true Indian team, I will have to go to every state, because otherwise it's not a true Indian team. And AIFF, what AIFF does is it goes to the capital of every state and conducts trials. Now, I'll give you an example. Suppose I am in India, such a huge thing. Capital of UP is Lucknow, and there's one state which is 2,000 kilometers away from Lucknow, one district or one city. And imagine my next Messi is in that city. Then that guy can never even come for those trials because it will cost him 5,000 bucks coming and going and staying for 2 days. Whereas if we, and then charging trial fees is a crime, because you mean to say, you remember, I mean, all of us, man, when I was 12, how many times in my pocket I actually had 200 rupees? Never.
Correct.
None of you had 200, 300 rupees in our pocket when we were 12, 13, 14. And we expect, so suppose that means not only the kid wants to do it, the kid's father has to agree to those trials, pay him that money. Kid's mother has to agree, everybody. So that means it's not that it's just about wanting to give, it's a lot of other factors coming. Now, moment the other factors come in, the father thinks that I have just, मैं अभी पूरा दिन घिसा के 500 रुपए की दिहाड़ी कमा के लाया हूँ, 400 रुपए की दिहाड़ी कमा के लाया हूँ, और मेरा बच्चा बोल रहा है मुझे 400 रुपए दे दो क्योंकि मैंने कल फुटबॉल के ट्रायल देने हैं जाके. कौन सा बाप देगा? कोई नहीं देगा. और फिर वहीं पे हमारा वो बच्चा रह जाएगा, और फिर क्या करेगा? पूरी जिंदगी लेबर करेगा. Whereas if we go there and we say that's a free trial, and we'll give them food also for that day, because like the schools do that, midday meal. So wherever we get trials, they get food for the whole day, they get a t-shirt free, so they get something out of it. So father says, okay, पैसा मेरा खर्च नहीं हो रहा है, ये पूरा दिन मेरे हाथ से भी नहीं, मेरे responsibility is somebody else's. He'll get food also. That's why we've increased the rate of education in India, because we give midday meals. Half the kids are coming there because they get one free meal, and that is 50%. They have 2 meals, 1 meal is taken care of by the school. So if we do this, and now I know it costs a lot of money, but that's why I'm not playing in the I-League. And trust me, it will cost less than that. Yes, I will not have any achievements for the next 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, but the achievement is every year there'll be a different I-League title winner, man. We've won it all. The point is getting our country and making the only way I have 1.3 billion people cheering when I cheer is when India scores. And when India scores in the World Cup, I can guarantee you that 1.3 billion 1.3 billion will cheer, because India has scored in the World Cup in football. So that's the dream, and very logically and methodically we are going to work towards it. Yes, we might have people who might just come and help us with sponsors like corporates, because the moment they realize that they will be part of the World Cup dream and they will be responsible for getting us there, I really think it's a great sponsorship and corporate opportunity. Why? Because it'll cost you 1/10, but jo tumhara naam banega, it'll be great. So hopefully we'll have some corporate help, and hopefully our federation encourages us and helps us, and in fact tells all, because see, the point is, I am not in competition with AIFF. They have to understand. If we reach the World Cup, the plaudits and the applause will all go to AIFF because AIFF's team has reached the World Cup. I am just a catalyst for getting them there. So instead of making sure I don't do my job, they should actually come out and help me as much as possible. And imagine if I can see, it's just logic, okay? They had an under 17 World Cup team, which they thought was the best under 17 team in the country. They made them go to 20 different countries. They made them, they spent 20 crores on them. And then they came and played a match again. Not came. I called them up and said, I want to play a practice match against you. And they said, no, we can't pay for it. If you want to play a practice match against the under 17 team, then you come to Goa. So I paid for the tickets of the entire under 17 team and the under 15 team to go to Goa. Then we beat the Indian under 17 team. And we beat the Indian under 15 team in Goa, in their place, after I paid for it. And 70% of both the teams were changed and Minervans were taken in. But the point, what I'm trying to say is, if I can do it with zero money and zero support, imagine if I get support. Imagine if I get the support of the federation and the corporates, where we can.
We all hope you get that support, and we all hope we can see India in World Cup one day while we are living. But coming back to the topic again, like uh, when you are mentioning about the best of the best, when you are mentioning about your players in the Indian team, then obviously a question arises, okay, the scouting system must be very strong. So my question to you is, like, there will be a lot of academies in India who are trying to scout as many players they can. But how is your scouting system different from the others? All
Okay,
over to you.
number one, we go to the remotest places where everybody else doesn't go. So when we went to Manipur, we went to every bloody district of Manipur. And we went to places where they said to us that we have never in our lives have a football academy come and do a trial here. Ever. Okay. And it was amazing to see that. And why? Because it was 12 hours away or 14 hours away. And it was a very bad road and nobody wanted to go there. So that, and we got gems from there. It's not only the scouting system, by this, the entire thing about making sure we go everywhere. Then the competition I have, that means I wish I had other academies like this competing for the same boys, but unfortunately at the age of 5, 6, 7, 8, there is nobody who wants to pick up boys. Nobody. So that means if there is somebody good and he's willing to come to a sports academy, I'll have no competition. The best of the best can come here. So it'll truly be the best of the lot, and it'll be the best Indian team, because it's not that, Bangalore FC has come and taken 4 boys and they have Jamshedpur has taken 3 boys and Minerva has just got 4 boys. No, there is no one taking boys who are 5, 6, 7. So that will ensure that we get the best. And then keeping them. See, main thing is I'm trying to show the parents that we are not doing it for a selfish motive. That means the contract is till they turn 18. Till the time I cannot make money off them till 18. That means after 18, they can go and join any club they want. So the dream is truly professional. That means to make them professional players or to make them good human beings. What the parents see is how it is different from other things. Is like, suppose you pick up boys at the age of 13, which normally all clubs and academies do. 12, 13, 14 साल की उम्र पे उठाते हैं. 13-14 साल पे you've got your basic schoolings. That means your up to class 6 you've completed. So your basic foundation level of your schooling education level has been laid. Then the habits have been laid, everything has been laid, and they don't come and study. कुछ नहीं करते हैं. And then there's this thing that football बनेंगे. और क्या होता है, हर 50 में से सिर्फ 4 बनते हैं फुटबॉलर. और जो 46 रह जाते हैं, they are in a very bad way. They are looking for jobs, or they're looking for jobs in this, or they're doing labor, or they start drinking or drugs or whatever. Whereas every boy who will come to Minerva will be in a convent educated school for over 10 years. That means they've just sent, suppose you send your kid to Sanar or to Doon school, or that is the kind of education we will be giving them, because they'll be studying in a proper ICSE school with proper teachers. So even if they don't for some reason become footballers, or they suffer an injury in the middle, or something happens, by the time they leave, they will be equal to a Doon school boy or a Sanar school boy, and they can go and apply for any college admission or any course, and they will take them. Why? Because they've studied in ICSE school for over 10 years in a boarding school. So the education part is very important because we need to make intelligent footballers. What is happening in India is the intelligence, being honest with you, the IQ level of footballers, and my coaches will agree with me, is very, very low. When they say, now you can't teach an old dog new tricks, that's very true with Indian footballers because they are used to certain levels and certain ways of doing things and they just cannot change. Whereas if you have an intelligent thinking footballer who's well educated, which I had a couple of in this year when I was in my season, they understand what you're trying to do. And when they understand everything what you're trying to do, they work towards it. But if you are not educated and if you don't know what is going on in the world of football, and a coach comes and tells you a brand new idea, you'll immediately dismiss it. It's happened to us last year when the same ideas were being put forward, but all the boys kind of rejected it because they had never played big football or got out of Chandigarh or Punjab. Whereas this year when Yan came in and I was there and we tried to teach them those things. So it's not that it was me and Yan who made the difference. It was the bunch of footballers which we had this time, which was a great thing. And then they listened to us. And so a coach can also only do so much. If you give a coach 4 donkeys, he can't work miracles. But if you give a coach 4 horses, then making those 4 horses win the derby is easier for the coach.
Correct. So when you say like we need to have intelligent people, we need to have intelligent footballers in our system. So how important do you think it is to take football into the middle class or higher middle class society where, like nowadays, at least a few years back, we see a lot of people coming from lower class and making it big. And we always know football is a game for poor. But in India, like the parents are always skeptic, okay, my child, I have a way of living. My child might not be, make a career in football. So how, in that avenue, how are you going to, convince those
That is
parents?
it. That is how I change it. See, suppose a parent, middle class parent, at the age of 13 has to decide that son wants to be a footballer, and then he says, okay, yahan pe ho gaya, nahi hua, so that means he's finished. Whereas a boy who's been with me since he's 6, number one, the chances of him becoming a professional footballer is 90%, 95% guaranteed. But even if he doesn't, he's been with me for 10 years and he's studied in a convent school all his life. So he's ready for the world. So he can go and get a job anywhere in the world, study whatever he wants, or follow football as well. So the choice becomes, he has a choice. Whereas nowadays, in sports academies, when you join at 13, 14, 15, if you don't become a footballer, your career is finished. You don't know what to do. You're finished. There is no skills which you have gathered in those 5 years while you were in the academy to go ahead and do something. So middle class parents will start sending kids to football when they know there's a career. Now, earlier what happened was, unless you play for India, you could make enough money. Nowadays, like in Pehle, cricket mein tha, 20 saal pehle, I'm talking about 1990s, before IPL came in. If you were a cricketer playing for your Ranji Trophy team, you were getting 4,000, 5,000 rupees a month in match fees. So if you were playing for India, you used to be getting 50,000 to 1 lakh. That means to become a professional cricketer and to succeed as a livelihood, you have to play for India. Now, you have to play state cricket, and not even state. If you are in the under 19 team, you get 4,000. In the under 23 team, you get 20,000. In the Ranji Trophy team, you get 40,000 a match. So one match. So a normal state cricketer starting from the under 19 levels can earn enough money to run a middle class household. So you'll have more people going into cricket. Same way in hockey. In hockey, there are institutional jobs. That means if you're a good hockey player, you can get a job in Punjab National Bank or in Air India or in ONGC or all these companies who have hockey teams. Now, what did AIFF do? AIFF closed down all institutional teams 15 years ago. there are no jobs left in actual government jobs left in football. और जो लेते भी हैं वो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट पे लेते हैं 1 साल के लिए या 2 साल के लिए 10,000 रुपए का स्टाइपेंड दे. That is not a professional job. That's no security at all. So when in India it comes to a stage where you know that even if I'm an under 19 footballer, I will get this much money and I'll be able to run my livelihood. And if I get into the state team, that means a I-League team or this team or a second division team. Other than that, I also have jobs in the market. That means I can be given jobs and football is a very short career. You only look at careers. A goalkeeper is the one who will have a 20-year career. A striker will have a 6-year career. A centre back will have a 10-year career. Midfielder will have a 10-year career. And that is if they are lucky and they don't get injuries. And 50% of all professional footballers suffer a very serious injury by the time they're 23, 24. Some of them ACL and MCLs. So some of them get back. Some of them are not able to get back. So we have a 50% success rate. So the careers are very short. So either you make so much of money in those 6 years, which is not the case in India right now, that you are comfortable for the rest of your life, or you make sure there are alternatives available. Now alternatives kahan hai? In club football, in helping other footballers become footballers like coaches or physios or ancillary jobs. And who's going to make sure that we get those jobs? AIFF. So AIFF has to see that the ecosystem and grassroots is not about just developing kids. It's about developing the entire ecosystem. That means it has to become a livelihood. Football has to be taken as a livelihood, not as a sport, not as a passion, not as a game, but ke ye kaam hai. और ये कईयों का है. I mean, there are at least, I think, 1 million people in India who depend on football for their livelihoods. I'm talking about from groundsmen to physios to technical analysts to people who are in social media to people who are doing the travels for the airline tickets for, different kind of things, but based on football. When we have around 10 times the number of jobs, then the middle class will think, yes, I can send my kids here. But unless, so the chances of you becoming a footballer are very, very few. So they don't want to play the lottery. India is a very safe kind of a country. हमने अपनी safety रखनी है. इसीलिए we always save for a rainy day. कि मतलब कि किसी दिन फट गई तो इतना कुछ होना चाहिए. Indians think far ahead when it is for their family safety concern. So they will never go for this kind of a, parents will fight it to the end, then let their child become this. ऊपर से अगर कहीं kid थोड़ा सा intelligent है ना, फिर तो बिल्कुल नहीं बनने देंगे footballers को. Because they know, oh my God, he can become an engineer, he can become a doctor, he can become an IS officer, IPS officer. और यहाँ पे साला football खेल रहा है और 50-50 chance है बनने का. And intelligence does not matter because in football you can be, apparently for them, and that's where we lose out on intelligent footballers. Because all intelligent footballers take up, not because they don't want to, their passion is football, because their parents will never allow them. If they're coming first in class or second in class, you think, I don't know about how many toppers I've seen who have gone on to become professional footballers. Whereas I've seen so many professional footballers in Europe who are doctors, who are PhDs, who are engineers. Why? Because there it's a career equal or even better than being an engineer. You get more money being a professional footballer. And you are much better footballer if you're intelligent. Like we said, the whole thing comes from intelligence. See, where we Indians fall back, being honest with you, this is the only place. People say physically. No, it's not that. Physically, kisi ki bhi le lenge hum. We are there. Stamina wise, no. We can screw everybody stamina wise. Why? Because we proved it in hockey. Hockey is the same kind of game. There's no difference, man. So if we can compete with Germany, South Korea, Argentina, Holland, and beat their ass in hockey, we can definitely do it in football. So no big deal. So baat kya aati? Intelligence. Kya hota hai? Indian footballer has in the habit of receiving the ball and then looking up and thinking कि मैं अब किसको pass दूं. So they think in the moment. Whereas footballers abroad, they have 3 options already in their brain. That suppose if the ball comes to me now, where are my options? 1, 2, 3. Best option is B. So the moment the ball comes to him, without thinking, attack. And that's the kind of second way we lose out. That is why when we watch Indian football and we watch German football or any other football, it looks so boring to us. it looks slow to us because it's not the passes are not growth. जब हम pass करते हैं, pass की speed is not that different. Pass की speed ठीक है, shots भी हमारे वैसे ही लगते हैं. हमारे इस बार जो आई लीग के गोल से, ISL के गोल से वर्ल्ड क्लास गोल्स थे. So girls में it's not about problem of that. Problem is the speed of football we are playing at. The speed is so slow that by the time we think of what we're going to do is always cut off. So the beautiful football never happens. You know, the free flowing football of tuck, 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 tuck never happens. Why? Because you think about it, by the time you think about it, that option is closed down and then that's where you lose out. Abroad, it's all about being quick. So it's tuck, 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 and it's a goal. And that's where intelligence comes in. And that's where we are losing out. And that's why I'm starting at the age of 6, that it becomes a natural ability and you don't have to think about it twice. And you can only do that from the age of 6. If you think you can make a footballer from the age of 13 and make him think 3 moves in ahead, no. Because when you start at 13, by the time he's 15, he'll get comfortable with the ball. If he start at age of 6, by the age of 9, he's so comfortable with the ball, it's a part of his foot. Then he starts thinking about other things. By the age of 13, 14, he's thinking tactically, technically. Whereas our 13, 14-year-olds are learning the basics of football.
That's a brilliant answer to the question I made. And indeed, like we lack this free flowing football, to be very honest. And like you said, like we have to develop the ecosystem. We have to make football a livelihood. So coming back to that livelihood, how important do you think privatization could impact the football turning into a livelihood? And how do you think Indian clubs and Indian academies can lure the corporates into spending their CSR funds for football?
See, we've got great people at the helm right now in our prime minister and all, who can actually take decisions which force people to do stuff. Earlier, we never used to have people who could force people. Now he can actually force people to do stuff. So if he actually has a man ki baat and he says one day that I want mitron, आज मैं चाहता हूँ कि हमारे सारे CSR सिर्फ football में जाएं. That's all it takes. So basically, it's the will, and it has to come from the top. And unfortunately, nobody cares about football in the top, in the political circle, or in fact, at our top. That means AIFF's top. I don't know how many webinars Mr. Praful Patel has done on football. 0. He should be the one out here doing all these webinars and talking about football and talking to the general public. It takes 4 months for a person like me who was supposed to be, when we were in the clubs, it took us, for me, Mohan Bagan, East Bengal, all of us, took us 4 months to get an interview, to get a meeting with him. And that meeting also didn't take place. Whereas I want my president to be available to me on a phone call. Why not? He's the president of AIFF. No, he's a very big man. Yeah, he's a very big man outside life. Then he should not be the president of AIFF. AIFF's president's job should be life devoted to football. That means I will do nothing else. I will not sleep at night unless and until India reaches the World Cup. Whereas the only thing we hear from our president is, after 4 years, we will reach the World Cup. After 4 years, we'll reach the World Cup. And he's been doing it for the last 12 years. And everybody keeps on believing him. Nobody says, what the fuck are you talking, man? So, and the main thing is they've been getting away with it. And that's sad. Same thing. So if we did a Mission 11 million. And Mission 11 million there was no follow-up. And the Mission 11 million happened because of the World Cup happening. If there was a proper follow-up to that, then it would have been great. But then see, it's done only when the World Cup comes, Mission 11 million, khatam. The boys you probably in the Mission 10 million, you had probably inspired at least 50,000 boys to take up football, new people. But after 1 year, you stop talking to them. They've all given it up and they've gone to some other sport. You all know, even us footballers, man. In our junior, when we used to be 11, 12, 13, we used to be playing the sport popular at that time on TV. So if it was TV season, it was cricket season, we used to be playing cricket. It was football season, we used to be playing football. Whatever was popular, World Cup, World Cup khel rahe hote the hum. So it was all about that. So if you don't follow it up with a proper thing, and you don't have, it was a very, very good platform, the under 17 platform, to go on from there. Same way, now we have the under 17 Women's World Cup coming up here. It's a great platform, but it sadly just ends there. It should not end there. It should show development. For example, South Africa mein, they were talking about these white elephants of the stadiums. कि हम World Cup कराएंगे, stadiums ये बनेंगे. So what they did was, they said no. What is the problem in our country? They said education is a problem. So he says, how about designing basically universities and the stadiums around the universities? That means, yes, it's a stadium, but the moment the World Cup is over, it's a university. So design it in a way, whereas the moment it ends, it starts into university. And they've got now so many beautiful universities running out of those stadiums. All the stadiums are put to use. Whereas in India, again, we spend crores on stadiums, but we can't maintain them and keep them open. Like, for example, for a normal person to go out and play in the Sports Authority of India stadium is impossible. But why should we be denied that? It's made of our taxpayers' money. And then if they want to charge an I-League or an ISL club professionally for hiring it out, it's okay. But to people, open up your best facilities for kids. So kids are attracted towards the game. That means your best stadiums should for 1 hour be open to the littlest kids. Why? Because the cricket stadiums they play in are world class. And if you give a choice to a cricket kid who's 12, would you go and play in that stadium, cricket stadium, or you want to go play football? Football kahan khilayenge? Football tumhare ko khilayenge on a rada ground. And cricket khilayenge on grass pitch. So the kid will rather go to the grass pitch because that's what he sees on TV every day. So you have to make it more attractive. If there are no academies coming up, if there are no people, then government has to do it. And if the government is not able to do it, then they need somebody at why is all the state associations in cricket doing well? Because they get money. Unko paisa milta hai from the central body. Like my district Mohali Association, for its ground, it has a super stopper. That means that machine which collects all the rain, and that costs over 1 crore. And every district association has a super stopper. Whereas in India in football, all associations are supposed to fend by themselves. Most of the federations are bankrupt, and the only money they try to make is through bribes and corruption. That means our national teams are all, that means क्या होता है कि gradation certificate मिलना होता है. So gradation certificate के लिए, starting from 16, 19, junior, senior Santosh trophies. Suppose I already have a government job and I'm in AG Punjab or AG Haryana. I go and play Santosh Trophy, तो मेरे को एक gradation certificate की वजह से मेरे को एक increment और मिल जाती है. But I'm really injured, man. I am very old. I'm 45. I can't play. What do? I give the state association guy $5,000, and he puts my name on the team. I travel with the team, and I get my certificate. Suppose I have to take admission in St. Stephen's College in Delhi, and I'm 19, 20, but I'm not a good footballer. So I pay the state association guy 1 lakh rupees. कि मेरे को स्टेट एसोसिएशन के संतोष ट्रॉफी की टीम में नाम में डाल दे, साथ में ले जाएंगे और मुझे दे देंगे, and I'll be able to get admission in St. Stephen's College. So what is happening here? ठीक है, उसकी help होगी, but the actual boys who are good enough to play, they get left out. And then what do? They never play football again. Everybody's not a Virat Kohli. I was reading that day 3 days ago. Virat Kohli went to his father and told him that, मेरे को selection के लिए पैसे देने हैं because वो पैसे मांग रहे हैं मेरे से. Virat Kohli's father went and told the selector कि select करना है select करो, नहीं करना ना करो. So Virat Kohli came to know that either he's going to make it through his own hard work, that means he has to be so extraordinary that they can't select him, that they have to select him, or just give up on cricket. So he took the challenge up. 99%, that's why he's great. He's one of the greatest because that's what he is. 99 out of 100 boys will give up cricket and go to some other game. Why? Because yahan pe, even if you're good enough, bribes. And it's happening. And why? Because in state associations, 90% of people who are office bearers have never played football in their lives. Ever. They don't know what football is. And and why is it? Because our president is like that. उसने कितनी फुटबॉल खेली है मुझे पता नहीं जिंदगी में. कुशाल दास से पूछो उसने कभी फुटबॉल को हाथ लगाया? पैर हाथ शायद लगा लिया है, बिकॉज वो तो देते रहते हैं, पैर तो नहीं लगाया. I'm being honest and open. Nobody asked these questions. What the criteria is? What to become an office bearer in any state association? There's no criteria. Football criteria क्या है? कुछ तो होना चाहिए. चलो यार तुम नेशनल खेले हो, स्कूल की टीम को रिप्रेजेंट किया, कुछ तो क्राइटेरिया रखो ना. So there is no criteria, and then they expect us to take us to the next level when they don't know shit about football. And then we say, oh my god, what are we doing? We can't do anything. Our leadership is like that. It's just simple. And there is a change which is required. Begin. See, I'm being honest with you. So if when corporates come in, privatization, like you said, like ISL came in, it's a great boost. Why? Because we Indians have seen now that we can, talking about the grounds and the facilities, that, oh my God, ground facilities wise, we can have what everybody else has all over the world. That means any pitch in India, it can be compared to any pitch abroad now because we know it. The same way, they are bringing the right people. But where are they spending the money? The corporates right now, top. So they can improve the facilities, but they can never improve the level of football. If they want to improve the level of football, the corporates need to spend the same amount of money on the 5, 6, 7-year-olds. When they do that, after 15 years, India will be playing at the level of Holland. Facilities, चाहे तुम जिनको facilities Holland वाली दे रहे हो, नहीं होएगा उससे. You need to spend money on the juniors, not on the social of the ISL. Yes, great facilities, but what's the point? Football is still being played what is being played 10 years ago. There's no difference. So I'm very, very passionate. I can keep on going on about this.
Actually, I think most of us are smiling inside, like how the naked truth of football is coming out. But yeah, I will come back to the grassroots topic so that although it's ironically out of the topic right now, but yeah, still it's pretty much evident. But yeah, so so you are having a residential academy, right? So the current trend, if you see in India, is moving out of the residential academy, like which is strangely exactly opposite to what European football or others are approaching. Like there might be countries who are opting out of residential academies because of parents not getting involved too much or something like that. But yeah, but residential academy has been one of the greatest revenue generation systems. So how much important do you think residential academies play a part in grassroots football development?
I think it's a must. I think it's a huge part. And when I say residential academies, I even mean if you're living in Chandigarh and you are going there every day, you need to live there. See, there are a lot of factors which are outside football, but which affect football inside. For example, the kind of things which you learn while you are living in an academy or in a boarding school: teamwork, cooperation, never say die attitude, discipline, adaptability, adjustability, sociability. From like means, suppose you are 20 and you've gone out of your home for the first time, and you're a great footballer and you make it in some South Indian team, but you're a Punjab boy and you are a fish out of water because you've never played with 10 Tamil boys or 10 Karnataka boys. And just because you can't get along with them and you can't get along with the captain or the coach and you can't understand them, you're already an outsider. You're 50% less of a footballer. Why? Because you don't know how to get along with people. In football, if you see, the point is, that's what I teach my boys. If you can't die for the boy outside the field, you will not die for him on the field. The relationships have to go off the field. What me and Yan used to do all the time, we used to make sure that these boys get an outing every week. We should take them paintball. We should take them swimming. We should take them for movies. We should take them bowling. We should take them for games. Something outside football. Then every place we should travel, we used to make sure that they never get to select their roommates ever. We used to put different boys in different people every single time. So like, for example, with Dika, I used to have either Chote or Himanshu Jangra. Why? One of the best strikers is, and our Indian boys are getting to learn from them. Same way, if I have somebody like a Dauda Sise, I'll put him with a Sanju Pradhan or a Lobo, or with an Indian Toiba, So the Toibas can learn from Dauda Ceesay's, the midfielders can learn from them. The same way the Indian centre back, if it used to be Bikash could be, or had always been put with in last year with one of my Sukhdev or somebody, but the Indians, or with Anwar Ali if he wants to understand. That's how you promote this. And this, we are trying to just make them go together. Whereas in a residential academy, this is not required. You, in my academy, now I won't be able to do that, but I used to make sure the boys live on top of each other, man. That means 16 to 20 boys in a hostel. Not that I don't have enough space. I have enough space, but I want to do that. Why? Because they are in your face. That means any problems are sorted out there and then outside. They're not taken onto the field. And they're so close to each other that they eat together, sleep together, breathe together, have a bath together, everything together. Already a team is made. All my titles, I would say, have come because of what kind of a team we had. Not that, I'm being honest, all 8 titles, 7 titles were not because we were better than the other teams. It was just because we were a better team. Not individually better, but as a team, much better. And that's what made the difference. And that's why Minerva has been able to compete, because even now, we used to make sure of that. Now, all these, the qualities I named, from discipline, adaptability, adjustability, sociability, and then getting along with people from all over India, and then learning what it means to share, and cooperation and leadership, and all these things come from playing a team game and staying together. If you leave it the age, the first time you're doing it is at 20 and 19, it's not going to work. And it's never going to be the same. You lose as a team and you lose as individual players. So I think residential academies go a really long way. And if you see the results, the best results have always been given by residential academies. For example, Minerva. For example, Bangalore FC, they have a residential academy. For example, Tata Football Academy, when it used to be doing well. And the results we give consistently. Now, by the way, Sudeva was doing very well. Last year, they had a residential academy and they did really well. For 2 years, they've been having that. They were doing well. So anybody who actually spends money on them throughout the year will make sure. Other academies, sadly in India, so they wait for the I-League dates to come out. They say, okay, date kab aa rahi hai? 2 mahine mein date aa gayi. Chalo ji, aajo practice pe har roz 3 times a week, 4 times a week. Why? Because they have, you know how academies advertise these days? You have a chance to play in under 13, 15, 18 I-League. That is it. You have a chance to play. So parents want to make their kids play for getting a certificate that we played in the under 13 I-League of India. That is the only thing they want. They don't care about winning, losing, learning the game. They get smashed 20-0, 15-0 in group games. No problem. That's what they were there for. And that's where a system comes in, where residential academy versus just a daily kind of an academy where, yeah, you get to play with the same boys, but that hurts us. Not only them, it hurts us as well, because our competition is like that. Whereas imagine if we had 100 Minervas. Just imagine that. Imagine every academy in India was like Minerva. Look at your talent pool. And why is it not possible? It is. If you make it compulsory, make it compulsory for all ISL, I-League and second division clubs to have a residential academy. Make it compulsory for them. And when I say compulsory, I mean actual compulsory, not just on the papers, which they do every time.
Correct. So just to let you know, we are actually running this webinar since 2:30 p.m. in the afternoon. Okay. But
it's a long one.
Yeah, it's a long one, but ironically, we wouldn't mind taking it a little more further, all thanks to you. So I will come up with another question. So, a compensation fee is there in Indian football system, wherein the club, where a player who gets sold into a club, the previous club gets some amount of money, correct? Correct me if I'm wrong.
No.
Just the previous.
What happened? No, this happened from last year. We were the first club ever to charge transfer fees. And we are the ones who actually started this system. And this happened from last year itself. The first boys to ever be sold from junior academies to seniors was Jackson and Nong and all those boys when we sold them. And that is just because we still had them at that time. What is missing in Indian football is something known as solidarity system. Now, what happens is, see, if we suppose the boy is mine and I'm selling Jackson to Kerala Blasters, yes, I get that money, no problem. But suppose Jackson been with me for 3 years, and before me, for 5 years, he was with some junior academy in Manipur. That is the guy who needs a little bit of money, man. So, and in abroad, in Europe or everywhere, starting from the age of 7 or 8, every academy that boy has spent time in, every transfer he makes till the age of 25, they get a small percentage. So suppose an academy in Manipur, when Jackson was transferred, got 1 lakh or 2 lakh rupees from that transfer. And now when Jackson goes to some other club, he gets another 2 lakh rupees. Imagine what that means to him. That is his budget for the next 3 years. Now, where will he ever get, how will he make money? Because the boys who are coming to his academy in Manipur or some remote academy are not rich enough to pay him. Or they pay him, what, 200 to 300 rupees a day, a month. That's it. Imagine if you do that, you improve his facilities, that will improve his, he can hire better coaches, he can get better facilities there, and we start making better footballers. Because if he can produce one Jackson from 5'7", yes, we had him for 3 years, but also the 3 years before us, that also matters. And those are the ones who are being neglected. बिकॉज हमारे को ट्रांसफर भी मिल जाएगी, बिकॉज हमने अब कर लिया, ये जो अकेडमीज का लास्ट वाला अकेडमी है उसको मिल जाएगी. अब किसको नहीं मिलेगी? जिसको सबसे ज्यादा जरूरत है, जो 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 साल से लोकल अकेडमी पे जाता है बाहर लर्न करने, उसको चाहिए पैसा. वो सिस्टम है सॉलिडारिटी सिस्टम, which is everywhere in the world except in India, and I've been really fighting for it a lot. So hopefully very soon we have that implemented. When that is implemented, it actually makes sense for people to own academies and run academies in India. Right now, only people who are crazy like me and have got passion who will do it. But we need to make it again, see, a livelihood, a business. And when you see that, forget about, right now there are only losses in Indian football. When you say, okay, even if you tell the passionate people, okay, you'll break even, forget about profits, you'll break even. Even then you see a revolution, because there's so many people who love the game, who want to do so much. But they can't do it because it's a loss-making business. It's taking out too much of money in and no money coming out. And who's making all the money? The biggest clubs. Why? Because they say we are spending the most money. But then the system just stays there, top heavy. And again, we want to make it bottom heavy. So top automatically will be heavy if you invest this way. But the money doesn't filter down from the top. It's not filtering down. It's just staying there. For example, English Premier League, they get a yearly thing of something like $3 billion का उनका television rights hai. But $3 billion don't go to the Premier League clubs. They go to second division also, third division also, fourth division also, fifth division also. So fifth division club will get money because Manchester United does well. And they know Man U, that for them to survive, it's required for a fifth division to be strong. Why? Because only if there's a strong second division will there be a strong first division. And if there's a strong third division, there will be a strong second division. If there's a strong fourth division, will be a strong third division. Whereas we are in India expecting only a first division to be strong, not worried about anything at the bottom. And that's never going to happen unless we change the approach and make it totally opposite.
Thanks a lot for saying this without even making the question. I was just going to answer this, I was just going to question this one only. So thanks again for taking out your time and speaking your heart out. That's the most important part. And I think there have been a lot of questions in YouTube which Neeraj would want to ask. Neeraj, if you can come on board, please.
Hi Neeraj, how are you, bhai?
I'm fine, Bia. Actually, I wanted to tell you one thing. There are lots of praises than the comments. The praise I really want to talk about is a guy named Papoy said that I wish there was a Ranjit Bajaj during my childhood.
I wish if there was a Ranjit Bajaj during my childhood, man. I wish I had all these facilities. Thank you so much, bhai. It really means when you say these kind of things, tell Neeraj, you must thank him from my side.
I will definitely be, and he's listening to you in YouTube. Actually, I do have lots of praises. I already told you, but there is a one question which everyone is repeating: when we will be seeing Ranjit Bajaj as the AIFF president?
Okay. See, I rather not be. See, the president, being honest with you, we require two different posts. We require one guy who needs to go to all these political functions, go attend all these FIFA functions, and get us these World Cups. There, you need a politician. Okay. ये वर्ल्ड कप वगैरह जो मिलते हैं पॉलिटिशियन की वजह से ही मिलते हैं बिकॉज वहां पे जाके सारा काम ही वहां पे उस काम का ही ऑनेस्टली I would rather be if they make me head of Indian football development. I rather be putting that right. But I don't want to be working. That's the main thing. I don't want to work under these guys. I don't want any salary. I would love to do this as even a free job. But they have to give responsibility and they say, okay, you take this and this is your job. And I will do it. I don't want to be president. Main thing is that again, it's being I know you can't change the system unless you're part of the system. But if they actually want to do stuff and they come and talk to me about it, I can really help them change without actually being in the top.
Okay, Bia, there is one more question. This question is very a bit serious, I would say. This is about the topic. This is asked by Shubhadeep. Ranjit sir, what about the distancing from the parents as the kid would be away from home from such a raw age?
Yeah, so it's not they get holidays now. They go back like every summer vacation they go back, every winter vacation they go back, for Diwali they go back, or for Christmas they go back. They're there. It's like a boarding school. It's not that we're going to keep them away from their parents for 10 years. It's like a boarding school. So you get 3 months or 4 months or 3.5 months back at home, and 8.5 months you spend here.
Okay, Bia. We have one more question from Aryan. He's saying that how Minerva produce more than 70 plus players for the Indian national team?
Oh, by hard work. That's it. We don't think we don't believe in talent. Talent is after you work hard, you will get talent as well. See, talent, I'll tell you. Talent, you have people 4 or 5 in the world. Like you have one Tendulkar, you have a Virat Kohli. Same way you have one Messi, you have a Ronaldo. Okay, then actually Ronaldo, I would say more is hard work because he was not that talented. Messi is talented. So you talented bande bahut hi few hain. Everything else is hard work. You work hard, we'll get you there. Simple as that. That's why we produce 70, 73 plus. Because we believe that if you work hard enough, you can achieve any goal you want.
Okay, Bia. We have a lot of questions, but I think we have already answered those. So that's it from my side, Spandan Bia. All up to you.
Thanks a lot again, Ranjit sir. It was actually a pleasure to have you. And, for every Indian football fan out there, you have spoken their heart out. You have told us what all is needed to be done. And we wish we see you one day. We see the academy from Ranjit Bajaj playing for India one day, for sure.
I can see Javin Varghese also. Hi, Javin. To you, man. Yeah.
Yeah, yes, to you also.
Yes. Okay, Yan, thank you so much for attending the thing, man. And see you guys. And Yan, you are in Calcutta. Take care, man. I've heard there's really bad things happening. We have to be really, really careful.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I've been waiting from 2:30 to hear you.
You should have just asked them, when is Ranjit coming, okay?
I've been in
But
touch
brother, take care and just good to see you, man. I've not been able to, we've been talking, but we've never been face to face. So good to see you.
Yes,
Okay, good. Great, man. So thank you so much, guys, for having me. It's been a pleasure. And remember, I'm always here for everyone. No problem.
It's a pleasure to have you,
Thanks
Bia.
a lot again, sir.
Thank you so much.